This morning, the extraordinary sessions of the Departmental Assembly opened to debate two draft ordinances presented by the local government.
Today we declare this regular session officially open.
With these words, the acting governor, Charles Livingston, installed the last extraordinary sessions where two draft ordinances were presented to the Departmental Assembly. One seeks to establish a property tax exception for the racial community, and the second is the acquisition of land of interest located in strategic ecosystems areas for the conservation of the natural resources.
Today, in the proposal that we bring before you, asking for your approval to grant a tax incentive in property tax to strata 1, 2, 3, and 4 so that this sector of the population does not pay the tax for a while. The department will be sacrificing around 3,500 million pesos, which we will not receive for this incentive, but we are willing to allow the sacrifice for the benefit of our Rizal community. The other no less important project is the purchase of a land that has been endorsed by the Environmental Corporation as affected land. We hope that this project can also have the necessary processing. Today, San Andres needs and requires many sacrifices for improvement.
The draft ordinances will be debated by the deputies from December 7 until December 21st.
The police department on the island gave statements of the capture of 3 persons.
The National Police managed to dismantle a gang dedicated to the reception and manipulation of mobile cellular equipment. In the execution of the search and seizure, 3 people were captured who were allegedly dedicated to the purchase and commercialization of stolen cell phones, making modifications to the email to later sell them as legal on the island. The 3 arrests were made in the sector of 5 Corner.
Through the raid carried out by police officers linked to criminal investigation and in coordination with the General Prosecutor's Office of the Nation, the capture of 3 people and the seizure of 7 cell phones and 8 elements intended for modification of cellular type was achieved. The captured persons were handed over to the competent authorities for prosecution.
The raid was carried out in a commercial establishment dedicated to the sale and repair of cellular equipment. The police managed to seize items such as memory unlocking, terras, a laptop, and cell phones with reports of theft, duplicate, and loss. In addition, they managed to seize 7 cell phones which not have an invoice that proved their legal origin. The captured persons were handed over to requesting judicial authority, and after legalization of arrests and indictment hearings, they were sentenced to non-custodial detention.
Today, the departmental hospital reached the Cliff neighborhood with the preventive health program All for a New Beginning, where they made different medical care and recreational activities with the community of the sector.
The community of the Cliff neighborhood had a health care day led by the departmental hospital, which carried out medical care, recreational activities, and vaccination, as reported by the manager of the entity, Maria Claudia Bracho.
We were present in the neighborhood of Cliff, offering medical attention to the entire community by general medicine, psychology, nursing, and social work in order to take samples of glycemia, blood samples, vaccination, screening of the entire population of children, as well as activities related to healthy lifestyles, prevention of psychoactive substance use, therapy course, also talks on sexual health and sexually transmitted diseases. To culminate the campaign, candles were delivered to the entire community in order to light a candle for peace, harmony, and welfare of this community, all thanks to the preventive health intervention, All for a New Beginning.
These health sessions are to characterize the population and to know firsthand the difficulties in health issues of the community of the archipelago. It is noteworthy of mention that the health entity will be reaching the different neighborhoods of the island with the preventive health program All for a New Beginning.
The SENA director and his management team presented the achievement obtained during the accountability period of 2021-2022, where there was also an open dialogue with the community and teachers who were present at the site.
From 9 a.m. to 12 noon, the accountability report of SENA in San Andres took place, where the progress and results of the action plan, certification of labor competencies, management and business relations, employment, entrepreneurship, among other topics, were presented.
This accountability report complies with the norm of Law 489 of 1998 and Law 1471 of 2011. What we are developing is the period from July 2021 to July 2022. We are reporting on achievements in terms of training, employment, entrepreneurship by competencies, corporate relations, and very nice program that SENA Emprende Rural and Senova with science, technology, and innovation projects. The colleagues are doing their accountability report and are taking note of what we can improve for next year. It is important that for next year we have important training in the fishing sector, which is our potential.
The interim director of institution also made a call to the community interested in participating as SENA teachers to apply from Monday 12 to December 18 in SENA Teachers Pool for the year 2023.
In other news, delegates from the American Embassy and the Faculty of Music of the University of Iowa and are visiting the scheduled workshops on music production and marketing for music companies. Let's see where the initiative comes from.
This is the first meeting that takes place between the Chamber of Commerce delegates from the American Embassy and directors of the Music Faculty of the University of Iowa to schedule music production and marketing workshop for music companies in San Andres and Old Providence, a commitment from the Ministry of Culture to strengthen the Creole music cluster.
Estamos programando unos talleres.
We are scheduling some workshops on music production and marketing for music companies in San Andres as well as in Providence. The truth is that this is an initiative we are working on since 2019, when this guild ran out of opportunities and we began to see the management of the culture of music in another way. Therefore, we are creating a cluster of Creole music, and today we are showing which offices of the Ministry of Culture are also supporting us so that this sector can be strengthened.
Why was this support for the sector born? In 2019, this sector had an annual turnover of 3,900 million pesos. 147 artists and groups approached the Chamber of Commerce to request guidance to strengthen themselves as companies and explore new business models to increase their billing. Today, the Chamber of Commerce seeks for them to become a national benchmark with the sponsorship of the Bogota Music Cluster.
The departmental hospital invites the community to take care of their children and prevent them from handling gunpowder and end up being victims. For this season, they're aiming for 0 burns in the archipelago.
On the eve of the end of the year holidays, the health authorities provide recommendations and ask parents to care for and protect the little ones so they do not become victims of gunpowder. Aiming for a safe holiday season with 0 burns, pediatrician Katie Juliet Castrillo makes the request to the entire community of the islands.
We ask all parents to please be very careful with their children and avoid filling these beds at the hospital with burnt children, because the outcomes are usually fatal, and it is the responsibility of parents mainly and of us as a health entity to prevent these types of situations from occurring. Please, our call as a pediatrician and as a health entity is to take care and avoid the use of gunpowder.
For the Departmental Hospital State Social Company, it is important that today, being the day of candlelight celebration, there are no accidents and the beds of the 3rd floor of the pediatrician's wing at the hospital continue to be empty.
And we continue with good news for the community interested in passport procedures. A link has now been enabled that will allow islanders to schedule appointments online.
At the disposal of the community of the island are the tools to properly fill out the paperwork for the processes and procedures regarding passports. Now the community will be able to schedule, cancel, consult, and reschedule appointments for passport proceedings. For this purpose, steps have been enabled for the community to follow through the link pasaportes.sanandres.gov.co. The steps are: Register at the Councillor Office, enter the information as it appears in the identity document and fill out the complete form. Click on the Request Appointment button, fill in fields with applicant's information and choose the day and time according to the availability. It is important to be punctual and to have all these necessary documentation to complete processes. Once the data and information is validated at the passport office, the departmental tax must be paid at the tax office. Finally, after formalizing information, the amount must be paid on the same day that the payment reference is generated. Appointments must be scheduled from December 19 of 2022. For further information, please contact 313-0801 extension 198 or 185 Passport Office.
At this time, we continue with Millicent O'Neill and the news of the municipality of Old Providence and Santa Catalina.
Good evening to everyone. I bring to you the most relevant information from Old Providence and Catalina. In recent days, the Municipal Council invited the manager of the Nueva EPS Health Promotion Agency to discuss the difficulties that are arising in the municipality regarding the provision of its services.
Several topics were discussed during a recent visit by the manager of the Nueva EPS, invited by the Municipal Council to talk on difficulties that are arising around the provision of health service on the island. The manager considered the meeting as positive.
We were able to handle in detail the different situations so that Nueva EPS can act in response to these situations. Barriers or non-conformities of the users of the municipality of Old Providence.
One of the most recurrent issues was the delivery of medication, to which he informed that there is still no appropriate place for the storage and dispensation of these. On the other hand, he committed himself to better enable the office in Old Providence.
Let's say that we have to work on that promise of service inside the office and we have to adjust it so that the users do not have that situation. Let's say with the issue of authorizations, for example, for medication or an intercity transfer, we are going to optimize this so that it is effective in terms of time and resources.
Finally, some of the participants also shared their perception on the meeting.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the councillors, Mrs. Elsa, who listened to the call that we needed the manager of Nueva EPS to come. Unfortunately, CAFAM's managers did not come, but the representative of the municipality was able to illustrate a little bit about the things that are happening in the pharmacy that Nueva EPS has contracted. The director was ready to listen to the request brought by the community, and he immediately promised to verify and comply with the request of the community.
And in other news, Coralina Environmental Corporation advances its eco-recreational vacation classes with children of the municipality.
Today, the third day of eco-recreational vacation by Coralina was carried out, a workshop that seeks to teach children of the municipality about the environment and its protection.
The idea is that children in their vacation season take advantage of this time and learn about different environmental issues with the knowledge and support of the contractors and official workers of the corporation in Providence.
These were the activities that took place during this ecological week for children.
The activities that we are developing within the framework of the corporation's eco-recreational vacations are the theme of Christmas decorations. We are also doing mangrove recognition. We are conducting a vegetable garden workshop and an additional workshop called Painting My Biology Diversity, in which children can paint the key and endangered species of the island in recycled materials.
The children also shared about the workshop they participate in.
The first year we learn how to make Christmas things. The second year we learn Catalina, learn among girls red, black, white and button.
And what do they learn today?
Today we learn to plant, how to mind the medio ambiente.
Vacation will be on Friday with an integration and a workshop on painting my biodiversity.
This is all we have for tonight for this section of Old Providence and Catalina. Continue in San Andres with more Teleislas news. Good night.
Thank you, Millie, and this is all for tonight. We see you in another broadcast of Teleislas News. Good night.